boys and girls. So today's Bible story for Club, we are going through the New Testament. We just finished the Old Testament during this quarantine, and now we have done Adam to Jesus, and then we did John was born and Jesus was born last week, and now we're talking about how Jesus was dedicated. Mary and Joseph's baby, God's own son, was a few days old when Mary and Joseph named him Jesus, just like the angel had told them to do. One day, Jesus was a few weeks old, and Mary and Joseph took him to the temple in Jerusalem. Mary and Joseph wanted to obey God's law, the law that God gave Moses, that said that once a baby was born, the firstborn son, you should take him to the temple and have him dedicated and make a sacrifice. So the law said that the children's parents should make a sacrifice at the temple. Mary and Joseph wanted to obey God and God's law, the law that God gave to Moses. And the law said that when a woman's firstborn son was born, the parents must dedicate him at the temple to the Lord and make a sacrifice. At the temple, Mary and Joseph presented Jesus to the Lord and offered 2 birds as a sacrifice. Another man was at the temple. His name was Simeon. Simeon loved God, and God had told Simeon that he would see the Messiah before he would die, the Messiah that would save people from their sin. So God's Spirit was with Simeon, and when God told him this, he was waiting for this day. And that day came. God's Spirit had led Simeon to the temple. Simeon saw Jesus and picked him up into his arms. God's Spirit showed Simeon that Jesus was the promised Messiah. Simeon was so happy. He praised God and said, "Lord, you can let me die now. You have kept your promise. I have seen the one who will save people from sin." Simeon said that Jesus would save the people, God's people, the Israelites, and Jesus would also save people from other nations. Mary and Joseph were amazed at what Simeon said. Simeon blessed Mary and Joseph. He told Mary that being Jesus' mother was a very good thing, but it would also be very hard. Some people would love Jesus, but some people would hate him. Things were going to happen that would make Mary very sad. A woman named Anna was also at the temple too. Anna's husband had died, and she was very old. She stayed at the temple a lot and just praised and worshiped God all the time. Anna came up to Simeon, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and she began to thank God. She talked about Jesus to people who were waiting for God to keep his promise to send a Savior. She told them the good news. The Savior was here. Mary and Joseph finished dedicating Jesus and making sacrifices to God. They obeyed God's law. Then they went back home to Nazareth. Jesus grew up, was strong and healthy. He was wise, and God was very happy with him. Throughout the Old Testament, God promised the arrival of a king who would redeem God's people. When Jesus arrived, Simeon and Anna knew that he was the promised Messiah. Today, we have faith in Jesus, that he is God's son. We can trust Jesus for our salvation, just like Simeon and Anna. All right. Thank you, boys and girls.